Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello. 1, 2, 3. Testing. All right, we are live. Can you hear me? Hello. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Okay. All right, we are live. We are live. All right. Can you hear me? Hello. 1, 2, 3. Testing. All right, can you guys hear me? Okay. Hi guys, this is Dave from Apple Vintage Tech, and this is my very first webcast, live stream rather. And so bear with me, this is the first time I've done this. So anyway, I know I don't see any people on this yet, and it's even if nobody joins, it's just good practice for me because I've not done this before. So anyway, what I'm doing is I have an iMac G3. Been in the process of trying to get the G4 board updated. DOS dude, we had some issues with it. I haven't sent it back to him yet. A couple weeks ago, I'm going to send him a donor iMac and he can have it. And the board's still in it. And so anyway, hopefully we can figure it out because I want to run Leopard on it. So anyway, with the optical drive, I wanted to put a more modern optical drive in it. And so anyway, the way that it's made, let me grab it here. Okay, so the way it's made versus the old drives, okay, this is a newer one. This is like a 2009 Super Drive. So they put this, I believe it's called an RJ connector. They're always on the opposite side. So what happens is this is the board that's normally on it when it's in the iMac. This is a PATA connector. And normally it would be like that. But the way, sorry, it's normally, let me get it lined up in the camera here, bear with me guys. So this connector is on this side on the older optical drives. So everything basically from about a couple years after that is on this side now, and that's the standard. So the problem we have is when the ribbon cable's plugged into it, it's supposed to be like this, okay? Connector is supposed to be here, okay? Well, now this thing is reversed, and so now the connector is over here. And so that causes a problem when it's in the machine because this thing will just barely, and I mean just barely fit in the iMac. I mean, it's above the circuit board and everything. And so anyway, excuse me just for a second, guys. Maybe, sorry about that, guys. Let the kitty out. So anyway, so it just barely fits inside the machine, okay? So, and I mean, it's pushing it. I had to modify the drive bay even to get this thing in to notch it out so I can get the board on it. Well, the problem I have now is, so here's the connector I started working on. So I had to make this longer. The original iMac slot load G3, here's the regular stock cable that comes out of it. So this is for your This is goes to the motherboard, this one here. This goes to the optical drive, all right? And this goes to your hard drive, all right? And it just all sits in there real close. Well, being that drive, that board is way over it, it screws everything up. So what I did is part one is here's the optical drive, or excuse me, the hard drive end of it. And this is the PATA drive, which plugs into there. But because that plug's reversed, I had to make this longer because now I have to rotate that to go on a hard drive. And then this rest of this long cable goes to motherboard. Well, there's just no room to stuff all this in the machine, and then it actually kind of pinches things so it doesn't work properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this cord, this ribbon cable. We're going to whack about half of it off here, and we'll take that connector off. It's not the perfect situation. Ideally, you should have the right kind of, there's actually a IDE and PATA plier connector setup, and put actually a new connector, because when you take these off, I basically have to use a soldering iron to kind of melt the end of it here and to hold it all together. So anyway, we're going to take this cable off. We're going to painstakingly put it on here. And then what I have to do very carefully is I have to separate these little wires one by one to get it to where it will flex. Okay, not the perfect situation. Okay, and even a couple of them I have to take and go over and use some of that tool dip and go over a couple spots there just to kind of, because I know there was one or two that were actually exposed, and so we don't want that to short out on anything. So anyways, that's what we're going to do. And so yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this cable here, and I'm going to move my camera here a little bit there, and we're going to take this connector off. There's little clips on here, and let me get my high-tech tool out here. And I'm going to try to, let's see here, because I remember I had to pop this off of there. Let's see. Well, usually it comes off a little easier than that, because that's what holds it together. Come on. There we go. It's like I said, once you take these off, you really can't reuse them. So anyway. And like I said, don't worry about breaking it, because I'm just going to hot glue it, or use the soldering iron and stick it back together anyway. So, because like I said, these are kind of a one-time shooting match here. And I'm going to have to invest in a special plier that'll make this life easier for me to do this, and then also some new connectors that aren't mounted up yet. So then what we're going to do is I'm going to try to get a little closer here. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's try to get a little closer here. So what we're going to do is we need to separate this. And it's, if you've ever had a Molex connector part, or they call them vampire connectors, and I'll show you this in a second here. I'm going to pull this apart here. And basically what it does, oh, there we go, got that off of there. That's what I needed to get off of there. Now you can see. See if we can get that to focus. There we go. So there's like these little each one of these holds a wire. I don't know how close I can get this camera here. There we go. Each one of these holds a wire. There's one there, one there, one there. And when I take it apart, you'll be able to see it better. So the problem is when you get this thing back together, you got to get it exactly right, or it don't work. Because I found it out when I did the other end of this. It took me a couple times to get that all lined up and everything. So anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to pull this off. And you say, I just pulled the pin out of here. Great. I'll have to push that back in there. Okay. Because they're just stuck in there. Let's see. Let's see. Come on. There we go. And also, guys, make sure you get the right orientation. Okay, so see that little key there? Make sure that's facing up. Because if you get that thing reversed, everything's all messed up. Okay, because if you look there, see that'll be up too. So now what I gotta do is I gotta stick this pin back in here. Because otherwise it ain't gonna work. There we go. Yay. All right, sweet. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, you can see there, makes all these, you can see there's holes in there now, because each one of these little clips, try to hold this up close enough so it'll focus here. You see those little teeth there? So each wire's got to go in between those little two teeth there. And that's what holds it. So that's the challenging part. And like I said, if I had that plier or tool, it'd be a whole lot easier to do. And I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna cut it off yet. I'm gonna wait till I actually get this on, and we'll do it. So it's, I guess it's gonna be a challenge to get it on here. Boy, I'm gonna turn this over so I can see the little knobbies here. And you want to make sure you have it straight too. Let's see here. All right. Sorry guys, I'm trying to keep this in the frame here. Sorry for the poor camera work here. Okay, so we're gonna do, this is more about what I want it. Right about here. So let's see. So you want to make sure it's running perpendicular to that. And looks like we got it lined up there. So what I start doing is I just kind of start, make sure I got this here. I think I got to go over just a little bit more here if I get too carried away here. Let's see. Right there. Right there. Okay. I think we're good. Just gonna make sure we get everything connected here because we can't be off. I mean, there's no room for error here. Okay. All right. So if any of you are looking at this, please respond to online chat there. Let me know who's watching. I appreciate the comments, any info. And like I said, and if I start And I'm going to give away something to one of the subscribers. If I get up to 100 subscribers, I'm going to give out something. It's going to be relatively nice. It'll be computer related, and it'll probably be mostly Macintosh related, vintage, or maybe even something newer. But yeah, so that's my goal, get up 100 subscribers. And I do take donations. Everything that I get, I put it back into getting used equipment or peripherals, and I will feature them on the channel. And I take old computers if you ever want to donate one, old Macs or any kind of Apple product. You can go to my page, and I have my business email, and you can respond to me that way. Okay. Everything is greatly appreciated. Trying to build my channel here. Okay. So I'm just kind of squeezing it because I'm kind of making an impression. Like I said, I don't have the right tools, so this is the poor man's way of doing it. Believe me, there's a much easier, faster method. We'd already be done already if we had the right kind of plier on this thing. And I've seen them online. I just have never gotten around to investing in one. And so anyway, just trying to get this started here, and you don't want to let go of it, because if you let go of it, you lose your orientation here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of push on it here a little bit, just kind of rock it back and forth a little bit, because I'm trying to get those little sharp, these little teeth are very, very sharp. I'm just trying to get it to go around those wires so I can clamp it. Let's see here. So now what we're going to do, just making sure we didn't slip. I think we're still good. Okay, good. This was the hard part before when I did that other one. It just took me forever to get this thing to go down on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this top part on it, because this actually sandwiches it together. And I'm going to try to squish it down a little bit more here. Come on, I'm going to get that side. Trying to get this side on. And in case I break this thing, I do have another one, another clamp. Okay, I'm trying to get this thing back together here. Yeah, let's see here. Okay. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, these are actually trying to get this in there. Breaking this thing. This is what I use to form metal with. It's like you can do sheet metal, brass, because I have a I do a little work on model railroading a little bit once in a while, and I do like a lot of the brass kits, and you got to be able to form stuff. So come on, baby, get in there. just trying to get this started. Yeah, it's going to get pushed all the way down here. Let's see. Okay, all right. I'm looking at this thing to make sure I got it lined up. Looks about right. Just flip it over the other way here. And oh boy, this thing work. It is on that side. Hello. Off here, that's why I'm not going in. See, it's starting to make the little holes in here, but of course, like a dodo, I moved it. Let's see here. Let's see if that'll work now. Oh, great, I broke it off. Way to go. Okay. That looks better anyway. All right. Okay. Like I said, guys, this takes forever to do. I'm sure this looks pretty boring to you, but let's see here. Let's just down here. Like I said, this takes a while to do. Once you get it started, it'll start pushing down on there. Come on, get on there. It takes very, very tedious. And other stuff I got coming up, I got a video card ordered for my 2010 5,1 Mac Pro, and so that way I can do Mojave. And I think what we'll do is I think we'll actually do a live install on that too. That could be kind of neat. And I always suggest comments, you know, things you might want to see. I definitely will love your comments. You know, new video content, different things. Like I say, I just, you know, I used to have a ton of Macs. I had all kinds of, I had the 20th anniversary Mac. I had it all modded out and everything. In fact, I still have a USB board for the Fat Mac. If you had other expander card in it. You can put the as well as the Ethernet card. You can put the USB 1, and if you have the Sonnet G3 upgrade where you actually plug it into the L2 cache slot, you get the G3 processor. You can actually, and I have done it. It's you take a risk of doing it, but I actually got the very first version of Mac OS on it, and that will allow you to actually enable USB 2 on that particular card. But I sold that I guess about 3 years ago. Boy, I wish I still had that. It's so hard to get upgraded parts for those 20th anniversary Macs. That's one of my favorite Macs. One of many, actually. I always like the iMac G4, the flower. A lot of people call it the flower pot one, or the sunflower, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, so yeah, I had the very first original 128K Mac. I got that back in 1984, and paid like $2,500 for it, man. That's when I used to make lots of money. And then about a year later, there was a thing that you could make it a fat Mac. You could add the 512K memory. My father-in-law, he worked at Lockheed, so we did that, and it worked great. We just had to unsolder all the ROM and solder in all the new ROM, and it was a 512. And of course, not too long after that, they actually came out with a 512 and a 1 meg. And believe me, that was massive back in the day. And I had several Mac SEs. I think my son has one of them, one that I used to have. I need to get that back from him because if it hasn't already, the board might be destroyed in it because the batteries leak in there, the clock batteries. And so anyway, I'd love to get that back so I can recap it, because I have the capacitors to recap it, and I've done several of those. I'm just going to kind of use this to push down on it because the thumbs are getting sore here. And I've got this on a chopping block, so I won't screw up my desk too much worse. And just trying to push this down to get those wires to perforate that cable, rather the clamps to perforate the cable connectors. And once you start getting them to pop through, then you can kind of keep working it down until you get them all seated down in there. But this would be so nice to have, and then that way I can actually get this put in, because on this here, this is just styrene that I've got double-sided tape on it, because what I was doing is I was just getting the right height. And once I get the right height and the angle, then I'll actually make me a mounting bracket that will actually go up on the underneath of the main, or actually underneath the in the drive bay there. It'll mount it in there, so it'll be secure. But yeah, but this drive, they do work in the G3s. They will eject, they read. I haven't tried to burn anything because I was just getting it to read the disk, and it worked. I was like almost dancing in the studio. Wow, this does work, because I didn't know if it had drivers that would actually support that, but it does. And that's the reason why I want to get the G4 processor upgrade, because it'll have more capability. The machine it'll be a faster clock speed, because this is 400 megahertz, and DOS dude, he had it clocked up to 550 on the G4, so it'd be a nice little speed bump for it. Mathematic capabilities are a lot more better on the G4 card. It can handle more tasks, and like I said, it can run the Leopard system. That's where it's capped out. I have an old MacBook up there, aluminum one, that's got Leopard on it. It's got the GeForce PowerPC one, and I've had Tiger on it, but on my iMac G3, I have 3 partitions on it: 9.2.2. I have Tiger, and I have Leopard on it. But Leopard won't boot because you have to have the G4 processor. The G3, it'll sit there and spin and spin and spin on the boot load, and that little wheel will go around with the Apple logo. It's still on. It'd still be on today, and it just will not open it up because it just doesn't have the capability of opening that software up. So anyway, I am making progress. I'm making indentations in here. That's good. That's where we need it. Let's try to get this all lined up here. And that's literally, it takes a long time. I mean, like I said, if you had that little ribbon tool, it would make it a lot easier. And what I'm doing is I'm just pushing it in between the teeth here with my knife. I don't want to cut the cable. I'm just kind of forcing it down a little bit in there. Because if I let off of this thing, it's going to pop off. And that's why I'm trying to get it to actually perforate down on those pads. I see somebody watching me. Type in who you are. I appreciate it. That way I can give you a mention here on the channel here. I didn't. I mean, this only goes out to the subscribers. I didn't. There's a lot of people I follow, like Tom at IMC, My Natural Hair Color, Charlie. Let's see, Ken from Computer Clan, Greg Arcade from Arcade Mods. Just to mention a few, I follow quite a few people. Of course, Dust Dude, I follow him. And I watch Mac Yak. That's a very entertaining channel for sure. Mac 84, Steve over there, I follow him. He's always got a lot of good, insightful information. So yeah. But like I said, if I get up, when people watch this, if I get up to 100 subscribers, I will do a special video and we'll give away something. Now, it's only going to be limited to the 50 states. Okay, I can't do any, it's not going to be for anybody overseas. And I do Canada too. Canada, no problem. But like, yeah, I can't. The shipping is unbelievable. My gosh, I cannot believe I shipped something to, sold something on eBay and sold something for $13, and I included the shipping, so it cost me like $4 to send it. Well, the buyer, he had to pay like $166 for shipping over there, and this was international shipping. And I thought, well, since I paid for it, I thought it would all be taken care of, but it doesn't work that way. They still have to pay for. If there's over, they have to pay for it. So anyway, to make a long story short, I refunded them, but I had already sent it out. And I said, if you get it, go ahead and keep it. And then he was kind of saying, you know what, I got it. I'll just go ahead and I'll pay you. And so just pay me what I sold it to you for. And he did. And so yeah, so we're both happy. So, but it's unfortunate that shipping is so expensive for some places. And yeah, so anyway, oh boy, I tell you, just trying to get this let's see here if I can use this to squeeze this together a little bit. Like I said, I have another one of these. If I screw it up, this makes more room for me, or more work for me. I can't talk today. I'm sorry, guys. Usually more thought gathered here. Anyway, this is this thing's got a lot of foot. I'm just trying to make that perforate that cable. And it's very, very reluctantly going in there. Try this again here. Let's see. Let's go this way here. And it's starting to push its way through slowly. Rotate it here. Like I said, I can't let off of this thing, or we'll have a big problem here. I'm just going to squeeze it a little bit more together. Just trying to. It's starting to perforate it. Sweet. Alrighty. Getting there slowly. Now I'm going to run this stream for about an hour. If, like I said, if I don't get too many more people looking at it, I don't want to waste anybody's time here. You can always catch it on the replay on YouTube. The only reason this tool is I get a lot of leverage on this thing. I mean, you can really hurt yourself with that thing. Trying to get it. It's starting to go down on the edge there, so that's good. Just got to get it in the center here to cooperate. And I got this little webcam that I got because I have the eyesight built in my iMac here. That's what I'm using. I have a late 2013 27-inch iMac. It's souped up. And anyway, but the camera's fixed inside it, so you can't move it around. So I just got this on my tripod. I do all my videos on my iPhone 7 Plus because I shoot everything in 4K, but I only upload it in 1080p. Reason for that is it takes forever to process the video. Because my internet connection is not that fast, so it takes a while to do that. So I'm going to try it this way here. I'm going to just try something here. Let's do it. Okay. It's going very slowly. Okay, get that wire lined up. Man, am I lucky. Whew. Well, there is absolutely no room for error on this thing, man. Trying to, come on. There we go. Oh, it'd be nice to get this cable done because I want to get it back on my machine. I mean, I haven't gotten all. I don't have the bottom of the machine on it, the case, because I don't want to keep taking it apart because I've had that modded board back out so many freaking times, man. It's not even funny. And DOS Dude's been really great. I mean, I've come to conclusion it's not the G4 processor. There's something on that board that there could be another chip that died on it. I don't know. Cap, I don't know. Because he did it second time and it did the same thing. It would not boot up. It would do the chime boot, but it would never ever access the drive, and it would never the screen would never turn on. the old board in, no problem. And the sad part about that thing, when he first did it, the thing worked. And I was going to make a video on it, and then when I went to turn on again, it wouldn't work anymore. So yeah. So anyway, it's just frustrating because it can be done, but like I said, I got to get that thing out to him. I've been really dragging my feet on it. And part of the problem is I just don't have any time. I mean, like today, I almost had to cancel this for today because I just always got stuff to do. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I like doing videos and stuff. Trying to grow my channel, and you can see I've done videos that one iMac G3 rebuilt out of spare parts, and I have that over behind me. It still works fine, and it runs. I've Lion on it. That's the highest I can run on it. So anyway. Man, I'm getting it slowly. Ooh. It's just the center. I get in the edges. It's just the center I'm not getting. I'm not. It's not going down the center. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get it in the center. Let's see here. I'm going to try something different here. Let's try this. Man, oh man. Let's see if I can try something here. Very careful. Dave, don't jack the cable up. There we go. Let's see if we can make any progress here. Not quite yet. We're getting there. Let's try it this way. Come on, man. All right. Let's see here. Trying to get that down on there. No. Let's see. I'm getting it. Man, it's just taking freaking forever, man. Gotta get one of those tools. So you can see it's going down on there, but it's not down all the way yet. Yeah. Let's see how this works here. Just down there. That one's got. Let me try to squeeze this together now. Maybe I'll be able to squeeze this together with that top part on it, because that top part's got like the female indentations of those clips on it. Let's see if they'll do anything. Yeah. Okay. Man, we're just almost so close. So I gotta keep that lined up there. Oh, let's see here. See, I need to grab it from this side, I think. Nope. Come on, get on her, man. Let's see. Take this off of here. Yeah, see, that center is not going down yet. The outside edges are going down pretty good, just the center here. I gotta, I know what I need to do. I need to set my garage and workbench and take the hammer to it. Because I don't do it with this. Break it. But we're getting there. See if I can just kind of push on this a little bit. Oh boy, come on. Does anybody else out there like to do work on their Macs, do mods and stuff on them? Because I have a couple videos. I have a fan on mine. I have a cooling fan on it. You can watch that. And I show you how to kind of repair the inner bezel. That's the G3s are prone to that. The plastics they use, they just dry out in time. All plastics dry out in time, as a matter of fact. Use acetone. If it's like cracks and stuff, you can a lot of times just melt it back together, and it'll structurally put it back together, thermally melting the material. You gotta be real careful though, because like I said, you don't want to get the fumes. You gotta do it outside and be very careful. Wear safety glasses. You don't get that stuff in your eyes. I'm trying to get that on there. And we're getting there slowly, all right? We're making progress for sure. You can see it's going on there very slowly. Ken, if you're out there, if you watch this on the flip side, I'm glad you got the Catalina on your Mac Mini there. That was good. You always have issues with your machines. And I watched your live show the other day. So I'm glad you got that working. Just trying to get this on here. Yeah, see these little. Yes, that's a good sight to behold. You see little shiny things coming through the cable, so that's good. Means we're making progress here. See, when you get them coming through there, then I can sandwich those two pieces together. I take my hammer and I kind of tap it, because On the other side of this, you can see this has got, that's where the pins go up into, and they go in between those grooves, so that cradles the wire. So after I get that on there, then I'm going to cut that off. And then I have to go through and section these here like I did these. So, because I'm going to have to twist it inside the machine there. But anyway, man, I'm getting tired after doing this. This is a workout. Just take a look here. Oh yeah, definitely. We are definitely making progress. Let's try to cut through the wire. That would not be good. Let's see here. And I got this cable out of an old PC tower. It just happened to have the right connectors that I needed on it. My wife and me, we do a lot of estate sales and stuff. That's why I'm always busy, plus a regular job. And sometimes I come across, I got just about every freaking cable known to man or human. And unfortunately, I don't get too many Mac computers. There's some places where people pick them up by the hordes full, and man, I have a hard time finding them. And not unless you want to go on like Craigslist, I mean not Craigslist, but like Facebook Marketplace or whatever they call it. And I'm just looking for the free stuff. That way you don't got nothing invested in it, and that way if you can't, you can always part it out. I have tons of parts out in the garage in a big box. Had them for sale for a while, and then I took them off because I needed some parts out of them. But I'll give you a little quick mini tour of my room. This is this bedroom of my house. I got the cats outside, otherwise they'd be in here crawling over everything. So they're not. I heard them crying at the door out there because they're used to being in here. So when I'm done, they'll get to come back in. So yeah. All right, but like I said, we'll get this done. Probably not going to happen on live here, but you can see the process, and if you look up in it, you can see they're going through. They're penetrating the cable there. Okay, and so you can see kind of shininess there. They're actually through, but you got to be able to see the teeth coming up a little bit, and because that way it's got the cable, because there's 2 rows of those clamps that are offset, and that's how they get all the cables on there. So every cable, every little wire you see, there's the little corresponding clip to it on each side. So what these don't get, the other ones do. And that's why it's hard to get these in here. But like I said, if you have the right plier, the right, they're called the IDE. It's a clip, it's a plier type of thing. And I mean, you just put it in there, you put the cable in there, you close it down, and boom, you're done. And I'm going to get one of those. I'm tired of, I like doing this stuff, but man, you waste a lot of time because I could be doing other things. But, I like it. I've always liked to tinker. Speaking of tinkering, I will show you a little bit of Apple history. I'm going to put this on here just for a second. I'm going to change the topic here real quick. So I'm just going to leave that right there so it doesn't explode on me. Let me go grab it real quick here. You guys are going to like this. Okay, this is history, okay? So this, Okay. This right here, this is a torque wrench. This was used on the Macs, the 128Ks, the 512s, the Mac Plus, and this is the I believe it's a torque 15 there. You can read it there. And anyway, my friend that worked for Apple for many, many years, he knows how, we were talking about Apple and stuff, and he came in one day at work and he gave me this. So this actually came off the assembly line. This is one that he personally used back in the 80s and 90s, putting the covers and many parts, and I use it once in a while, but mainly I have a new one, so I try not to use this one. But see, it's got a little, it shows its age. See, it's got a little bend in it, so you know it's been used a lot. But the tip's fine. But yeah, I thought that's pretty cool. He gave that to me, and so that's my official Apple tool from Apple Corporation, right off the assembly line back in the day when he used to work for Apple. So pretty cool. And I won't mention his name, but he's a really good guy. He's hilarious. He's very funny, and he's one of our patients at work. So anyway, yeah. So I thought you guys liked the little trivia for you there. Not everybody can say that they actually have an Apple tool. It's a T15, I believe it is. I tell you, that's what I hate about getting older. You know, your things you used to know right off the top of your head. You have to think about it now. Wait a second. Let's see. Yeah, Torx 15. Yeah, Torx 15. That's what it is. Torx 15. And anyway, yeah. So, yeah. So I'm gonna have to display it on the wall or something. But anyway. And why? So trying to get this out of here. Okay. All right. We will get this eventually. I was able to do that one. Not a problem. That's the original PATA one, so we didn't have to, all we did is cut the extra cables off like they did on the original one. See how the whack goes off, goes to the hard drive, or for our purposes, the SSD drive now. So yeah. All right. So anyway, so I think what I'm going to do, guys, is I got this point now where I need to take it out in the garage on my workbench, and I'll have to put it on there, and I can take and clamp it a little bit, push it down, and then get that on there, affix that on it, and then we'll cut that cable off, and then I'll have to slice and dice it here. So anyway, so it's been almost an hour, and I don't have anybody watching me except for myself. So let's see here. But I tell you what, let me just give you a quick 10-cent tour here. All right. So let me take the camera off here. Okay, hold on. So we're gonna go for a ride here. Whee! All right. So this is my iMac G3 that's being converted to the G4. It is a Ruby, and I don't have the bottom case on it because I have to have access to the drive bay. And like I said, until I get that pre-modified board back in. You know, I don't want to keep taking it apart. But yeah, I was playing with it actually. I had playing with it a little bit last night. But yeah, screen is absolutely gorgeous on it. I mean, and the covers are in pretty decent shape. Up here, I'll show you some of this stuff here. So this is just all full of hard drives, optical drives, laptop drives, 3 1/4-inch drives. No SSDs in here. And I have this on eBay. I have some things on eBay. This works. There's a couple dial-up places, and this is the Teleport Gold. And I have an eBay site. You can look on my About Me, and there's a link on there. And everything comes with it. And then these are a lot of G3 parts. That's my wife's glasses. We don't need those up there. This is my Buffalo drive. I put a lot of photos and stuff on here, but it's USB 3 and Thunderbolt. This is my Apple Super Drive that I use on my 13-inch iMac. Works great. This is the old RAM out of my Mac Pro, and the power cable. That's the chip that I took out of it. That's on eBay in a static bag. That's my iMac there. That's my daily driver here. This here, let me get this here. So this is all that there. Those are DVD blank disc, CDR and CDRW. I get these from Yards, brand new, because I like to burn things on CD every now and then. I got all kinds of OS 9 software. Here's Jaguar, brand new in the box. I got System 7.5 in the box, System 7.6 in the box. I got the FBW toolkit for the, for like initializing drives and stuff. FWD. Manuals, more disk. I got a lot of Apple disk. I got high density dual sided floppy drives, floppy disk. I have Windows 7 on my Mac Pro. And so I got lots of software that I burned off of different sites and stuff. This is my beater MacBook Pro. It's the screen's kind of goofy on it. It's got a problem with the backlight, but if you wiggle it, it works. But long story to this, it was in mint shape. I sold it to somebody. They said it didn't work, which it did. They sent it back to me. They didn't put any packing in it. It rolled around the box. It got all beat the jeepers. It worked fine. Still works. It's just now the cosmetics is all beat up on it. And then there's an old gateway monitor. There's the one. This is the Dell that I use on my Mac Pro. And I have right now I have VGA on it, but when I get that other card, I'll have the digital port hooked up on it. And here's the Mac Pro underneath here. It's not on right now. And I get it all tucked away in there. And I had to open up the back of the cabinet so that way it gets plenty of air. And yeah, and I have in my closet there, I have all kinds of other Macs and stuff in there. I have to keep the kitty cats out there. And I also have that one I'm going to send DOS to because it's got the upgraded board in it. But I got to keep the kitties out of there. And I've got to get it shipped out. I'm going to try to get it out next week because I'm tired of it being in there. But anyway, so yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you for if you stopped by just for a minute or two and looked at it. I appreciate it. Nobody responded to the chat. That's okay. This is my first stream. Sure, it's boring to most people, but for some people it might be interesting. You can watch it on the flip and appreciate any comments. And so what I'm going to do is finish working on this cable. I'm going to get it done and I'm going to cut it off. And then I think it's going to do it for me today. But eventually we're going to get this back in the machine and then get this super drive in there. And yeah, it's this thing is so quiet compared to the original one, man. It's just unbelievable. But and it weighs nothing. But anyway, yeah, I got a bunch of them. So even if something happened to that, I got a backup. So, and I got lots of these boards too. So they use these in the G4 Cube as well as the slot load iMacs, the G3s. So anywho, all right. Well, thank you guys. Like I said, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to put some kind of giveaway together here. We get up to 100 subscribers, and it'll be cool. But like I said, it's going to be limited to the 50 states and then also Canada. We'll do Canada too. And but yeah, so hopefully somebody will win it. But like I said, we got to get to 100 subscribers. And what I do is I put all the names in a hat. We'll draw it live on air, and that's how we'll do it. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. All right. Okay, guys. So you have a good day, and like I said, we'll be talking to you in the next video. And in case this is me, this is what I look like. And you guys have a great day. And I got to get a haircut today. So anywho, all right, guys, have a wonderful weekend. Have a great upcoming Thanksgiving. Have a Merry Christmas. And we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.